I usually do stand-up, so this is going to be a bit weird for me, I think, and you, possibly as well. I don't know, I'm quite a difficult person. Right? I tend to make things difficult for myself. I tend to make things unnecessarily difficult. I really needed a job, so I applied for a job working behind the grill at a well-known restaurant chain that for legal reasons shall remain Nando's. Now, they asked on their application form, how would your friends describe you in 3 words? Right? That bothered me. What possible relevance does that question have to a job at Nando's working behind the grill? How would your friends describe you in 3 words? I put good at grilling. I do tend to get a bit angry, I do tend to get a bit ranty. I'm not going to do that today because I think that's probably a bit inappropriate, shouting at a load of poets and musicians in an art centre, so I'm not going to do that. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to be more positive as a person. I'm trying to be less negative. And one of the things I've done is I've made a list of things that I like, which I'd like to talk about with you. First thing on the list is a film. It's the film Best Exotic Marigold Hotel. It's not the whole film that I like, it's just one scene from the film I really like. There's a scene where Bill Nye's character fixes a tap. I think he says, "Look, I fixed the tap." I like that bit. That's the whole list, actually. Not sure why I got this bit of paper. I've only written on a picture I've drawn of David Hasselhoff. Good though, isn't it? You kind of recognise his likeness. Right, I did this the other day. I tend to obsess about things. I tend to fixate on things. And I was at the train station in my village on the way to a gig, and they've started posting ticket inspectors at the station, which is fine. I've got no problem with that. I've got no problem with that at all. But they post the ticket inspectors at the entrance to the station, right? So I was coming in and I hadn't bought my ticket yet, and I had to explain to him I hadn't bought my ticket yet because the ticket machines are inside the station, right? Which he did not seem to understand. I think he was just being awkward about it. Anyway, eventually he lets me through and he watches me walk maybe 10 yards to the electronic ticket machine, watches me buy a ticket, then he comes up to me and goes, "Can I see your ticket, please?" Right? The ticket he has just watched me buy. So he's raised the stakes now. Anyway, I had that cartoon picture of David Hasselhoff with me, so I showed him that. Here you go, mate. Trust everything's in order. He was not happy. He asked to see a proper ticket. I said that was the proper ticket. It's what the machine had given me. He said it wasn't. I said it must be broken. He said it wasn't. I said he should file a formal report saying the ticket machine was broken and that it's giving out pictures of David Hasselhoff instead of tickets. He said he wouldn't do that, and then he said, and I quote, I'm not filing a formal report, sir, right, because I saw you get a proper ticket from the machine, right? Right? I consider that to be one of the greatest achievements of my life, right? Even though it didn't happen. Okay, I've been up here a little bit now. You're probably thinking, I wonder what he's going to tell a short story about a talking dog that solves crimes and rides a jet ski. Well, now's when I'm going to do that. This is a bit unusual, and there's a strong possibility I'm going to enjoy this a lot more than any of you. But there will be a jet ski chase scene, so that'll be fun. Look out for that. Right. I am unable to work the microphone stand. Thank you. That is fantastic. Thank you. Right. Okay. Yeah, I'm just going to get going with this. I think it's called The Day of the Pigeon. I don't know why I've called it that. It's the only time I mention pigeons. It's based. I say it's based on a true story. It's not. Dogs can't talk. It's important that. Chapter 1: A life of quiet desperation and jet skis. Bruce was an old dog. He had been handsome in his day, but the years had taken their toll. He did not sleep well, and it was beginning to show. He had been the chief detective of the Wolftown Police Department. He had been responsible for some of the biggest catches in the police force's history. The Wolftown Six, the Dixie Lane cat burglar, that frisbee at the park that time. But since his breakdown, things were not going well. He had lost everything. Even his current job at the jet ski repair shop was hanging by a thread. Bruce knew he was not a good jet ski repairman. He didn't like jet skis, he didn't know how to repair jet skis, he kept pushing customers down flights of stairs. He was unhappy. You could tell from his body language he was unhappy. Also, he would frequently shout out, "I am unhappy!" often at customers as he pushed them down flights of stairs. "Mr. Papadopoulos will be back any minute," he grumbled. "I'd better tidy the place up." Meowcat Jones had been on the shift before and the place was a mess. Meowcat Jones was a friend of Bruce's, sure, at least as close as he came to having a friend these days, but Meowcat was cocky. All bark, no bite. All style, no substance. All soup, no kitchen. Can I pause for a moment and say, all soup, no kitchen, favourite thing I've ever written, don't know what it means. Meowcat Jones was cocky. He had once got Nick Noll's autograph. That was about the height of his real achievements, yet he strutted around as if he'd really got Anneka Rice's autograph. Fool. Bruce caught a glance at the front of the local paper. Yet another parrot had gone missing. That's 6 parrots in as many weeks, thought Bruce. What would anybody want with 6 parrots, he pondered. Frankly, 1 was too many. Bruce hated parrots. They brought back unhappy memories. Can I just say, remember that bit? Bruce hates parrots, unhappy memories. Might be important. Chapter 2, a face in the crowd, and not a good one. Excuse me. Bruce had gone for a drink with Meowcat Jones because, well, he felt like he had to. Meowcat had been meowing on about it for ages and he just felt like he couldn't say no. But he'd been there for about an hour now and things were starting to slip out. I know, I just gotta let it go, mumbled Bruce as he nursed his 6 can of Diet Fanta. I just don't feel like I can. Meow, said Meowcat Jones, trying to appear sympathetic, but secretly a bit irritated they were no longer talking about Nick Knowles. And it was quiet, just for a moment. The hustle and bustle of the busy Hawaiian theme quayside bar waned, just for a moment. Hang on, roared Bruce suddenly, his voice quivering, his hitherto slouched body abruptly alert, yet motionless. That guy looks like the evil pirate that killed my wife! That's why he doesn't like parrots. See? Pretty clever, right? Yep. And he's getting on that ferry. He's seen him get on the ferry. Bruce didn't know if the man he'd seen was actually the dreaded Senor Pirate. He felt like he was seeing Senor Pirate everywhere since his wife Bella's death. Usually he'd talk himself out of it. What would the dreaded Senor Pirate, scourge of the 7 seas, destroyer of souls, the man behind the Wolftown 6 be doing in the Tesco Express 8 items or less queue, he'd tell himself. But this time it felt different. The man was dressed as a pirate, sure, he had the hat, the beard, the wooden leg, but there was an adamant tribute act convention in town which made things difficult. Truth be told, Bruce wasn't sure, but he welcomed the distraction from his awful drink with Meowcat Jones, the distraction from his miserable life. Right, any questions so far? I usually use this point for a bit of a recap. We've got 4 characters. There's Bruce, he's a dog, he can talk. There's Meowcat Jones, he's his sidekick. He can't speak, he can only meow because he's a cat. Bruce is mourning the death of his wife Bella, and Bella was killed by an evil pirate called Senor Pirate, who they've just seen get on a ferry. Wanted that to be clear. There's 3 more hours of this, I don't want anything. Anyway, the next bit's exciting, you like the next bit. Chapter 3, the chapter in which Bruce chases what could be Senor Pirate to what is potentially his pirate lair on a jet ski. Bruce and Meowcat got on jet skis. They then chased the man who could be Senor Pirate to what was potentially his pirate lair on those jet skis. Chapter 4. Showdown in downtown Dogtown. I've said Dogtown, I mean Wolftown. I don't want you to think I'm some sort of idiot. The ferry pulled up outside the Model Train Museum. They're going to the Model Train Museum. The man who was possibly maybe Senor Pirate got off and made his way to a side entrance. Of course, the Model Train Museum, it's the perfect place to hide, said Bruce, adding, because of all the trains. Meowcat Jones didn't really understand what Bruce meant by this. Not just because it didn't make any sense, but Also, because he was thinking about kippers. He meowed back anyway, but in a tone that seemed to say, I'm not really listening, but kippers are good, aren't they? Bruce and Meowcat made their way quietly to the side door. And as the door swung open, a beautiful vista of model trains opened up before Bruce and Meowcat's eyes. It really was quite a display. The L47 to Bracknell, the 414 to Eastbourne, the Sheffield Warrior. It was all there. Meow, said Meowcat Jones in a tone of awe and wonder that surprised even him. As Bruce looked out over all the model trains, he paused. It reminded him of that day, the day he had proposed to Bella, the day they had meow! Screeched Meowcat Jones unexpectedly, but it was too late, and Bruce was smacked round the head, full force, by the large model of the L47 to Bracknell. And all of a sudden, Bruce and Meowcat were surrounded by half a dozen thuggish henchmen, each uglier and more menacing than the last. Except the last one, who would have pushed, looked a bit like the actor Tom Hiddleston, but with a perm. He wasn't so menacing, but the others, pretty menacing. Meow, 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 cried out Meowcat in what could have been described as a hissy fit, not that doing so would do justice to just how much hissy he had managed to fit in. Let's do this, screamed Bruce, pulling his nunchucks from his back pocket. He was glad he'd brought his nunchucks. People kept saying to him, Bruce, why have you got nunchucks? You're not going to need nunchucks. This is a jet ski repair shop. Bruce, could you put down the nunchucks? But deep down he'd always known those people were wrong. Better to have something and not need it than need something and not have it, he always said. Maybe later I'll get to use those parking receipts from 1993 in my back pocket, thought Bruce, as he nunchuck slapped Curly Hiddleston into a vat of acid. And in a frantic spell of unmitigated carnage, Bruce and Meowcat dispatched the remaining henchmen, each wallop with such force that they flew through the air in the way that, say, a pigeon might had it been fired out of a cannon. Just realised I do mention pigeons. Until there was just one henchman left. He's mine, said Bruce as he clutched one of the larger model trains, grabbing the last thug by his ponytail, stuffing the train in the guy's mouth, and karate kicking him right in the face. Chew, chew, chew on that, quipped Bruce. And in that moment he thought of his wife Bella. She loved it when he kicked people in the face. Can I just say, I wrote that whole bit just through the chew, chew, chew. The whole model train music was totally worth it. I mean, it's no Bill Nye fixing a tap, but I like it. Right, chapter 5, an adequate resolution to the issues with Senor Pirate, question mark. I've been waiting for you, said Senor Pirate from a tall sea shanty-themed throne. The 6 missing parrots sat calmly upon his shoulders. I've always known that you'd find me, Bruce. Meowcat Jones wondered how both of them had not seen this throne before now. Not just today, but all the other times they'd visited the Model Train Museum. It was massive, totally, properly, bloody massive, like Bono or the Crimean War. You killed my wife, screamed Bruce as he ran full pelt towards the throne. Bruce, said Senor Pirate, leaning forwards ever so slowly, I think you'll find that your wife is still alive. Bruce stopped, dead. His angry, purposeful charge halted. A hatch by the throne opened up and a shackled figure emerged. That's not my wife, that's a cat in a dress, exclaimed Bruce. I should point out his wife was actually a dog in a dress, not a cat in a dress. You're not a pirate, you're a bear, screamed Bruce. This isn't a model train museum, it's a volcano. You're right, bellowed Meowcat before meowing sheepishly and looking around carefully to check anybody had noticed he could speak. And in that moment, Bruce woke up. He lay there in a cold sweat, alone, once again. Bugger, muttered Bruce, looking at his alarm clock. I've got to be at work in 3 hours. Mr. Papadopoulos won't be happy if I'm tired again. That's right, it was all a dream. Pretty clever, right? Not really, no. Not really, no. Right, that's me done, I think. I've been Liam Sullivan. Thank you very much.